Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Did anybody watch that gong show conference in Alaska between the United States and China? What was his name? Blinkin. Tony Blinkin, the brain surgeon. He comes out lecturing China on what they can and cannot do, what they should and should not do. And the blistering 16-minute response from, what was his name? I'm probably going to slaughter this. Jie Shi, top foreign official of the Chinese government, told him exactly what he thought, where to go and how to get there. Which I think was something that should have been done a long time ago. The United States has basically lost the high ground, and China has lost respect for the United States. They used to have respect for the United States back in the day because the United States used to walk the walk and talk the talk, but now they only talk the talk, they don't walk the walk anymore. Which, you know, and I'm going to get into that. I'm not going to get into the 16 minutes of scathing rebuttal from the Chinese official, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare what the United States has done and what China has done, and how the United States really has no firm ground to stand on when it's trying to belittle China and trying to tell it what to do. You see, when the United States is telling China how to deal with terrorism in certain areas of China, they come across a little bit lame just for the fact that they have been having terrorist attacks around their country over the last little bit. One in Georgia where 8 people were shot, mass shootings, and another one just yesterday in Colorado. 10 people in a shopping center got taken out. These are acts of terrorism, definitely acts of terrorism, and they have the audacity to tell China how to deal with terrorism in China. China, everybody knows, China used to have a problem with the Uyghur people and radicals in the Xinjiang area of China. Okay, and they chalked it up to lack of education, lack of opportunity, poverty, lack of easy access to the rest of the country. So what did they do? They built roads. They built learning institutes. They train people to in trades that they can use to better their circumstances, better their family circumstances. In doing this, they're not as easily manipulated into a radical religious ISIS, Al-Qaeda type outfit. Okay, and how's that working for them? Well, in China they haven't had a terrorist attack since 2017, so 4 years now. Yeah, it seems to be working. How many terrorist attacks has the United States had in the last week? 2 that I know of, but there's other stuff out there that, you know, just doesn't make the news, because if 8 or 10 people aren't getting offed at once, it's just not newsworthy in the United States anymore. And then the United States says you're discriminating against Muslims. Yeah, the United States said that. Okay, well, wasn't it their last president, Donald the Duck Trump, who banned a whole bunch of Muslim countries, citizens from entering the United States? Why? Because they're Muslim countries. So where's your moral compass and your grounds to stand on making rules and regulations that China would have to follow dealing with Muslim people if the United States was doing basically the same thing and even worse? You see, when China deals with their Muslim population, it has lack of education, lack of opportunity, lack of, you know, just a future type thing. What do? They educate them. They make it so they have better access to the rest of the country. They make it so they have a future for themselves and their families. In the United States, what do? They bomb Afghanistan and Syria. They start wars. The United States is has been in more wars, more policing actions, and been a part of more coups and attempted coups around the world than the rest of the countries in the world put together since World War II. Now, how's that for being a peace-loving country? And then they say that China is militarizing. Yes, they are becoming a threat to the world militarily. This comes from a country that has over 800 military bases around the world, has, as I say, started more wars, more policing actions, coups and attempted coups than all the other countries in the world put together since World War II. And they're saying that China is being aggressive militarily around the world. That's just a bunch of bullshit. We all know that. You know what I mean? So it's the United States is like, well, we can do this, but you can't do it. Why not? Because there's a double standard there, and everybody knows there's a double standard, and there has been a double standard for a long, long time. But what they didn't know, that China was going to stand up to them at this conference in Alaska and not take their bullshit anymore. They actually put the United States in its place for the first time that I've ever seen. They didn't just talk back, they talked down to the American official. Yes, it's like the United States lost all credibility. They have no dignity. They can't tell others what to do when they're not doing it themselves. When your society is in a position where half the people think that the election has been stolen, when you've got rampant drug abuse all over the country, you've got people unemployed, you've got homeless people, you've got tent cities, you've got random violence all over the country, you've got your debt is out of control, as are a lot of the people in your country. So when you come and you try to promote your form of government on a country like China, and they look at all of the things, and not only China, but there's a lot of countries around the world that are looking at it and saying, well, geez, no, we don't want to be like that. We have it better in our country as it is right now. The debt isn't piling up. There's no homeless camps all along our coast. We're getting richer. The infrastructure is growing. China has over 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. The United States has none. Yes. People can move around the country so much more freely and inexpensively than a place like the United States. The United States can't get anything done, where China is building and getting things done on a scale it's never been seen before anywhere in the world. The economy of China is growing so fast that it scares the living bejesus out of the United States, and their only way to counter that is to try to tell China what to do. And China's gotten to the point now, it's gotten so big and so powerful that they don't have to listen to the United States anymore. And you know what? They're not listening to the United States anymore. How do you even come to a conference with a straight face and start talking about how China should deal with their Uyghur population after you have a history of persecuting the blacks, the Hispanic, and now the Asian people, actually anybody that isn't an Anglo-Saxon, even the Indian people, Pakistani people, they've all been targeted at one time or another in the United States. Then the United States comes and thinks that they can dictate or lecture China on how to deal with their Uyghur people. How do you even think that you can come and do something like that, especially at that level of a conference with the top dog, the top foreign dude from China? Like, seriously, do you think they're going to listen to a country where every inch of the soil that country stands on was stolen by the Europeans from the North American Indians? Do you think that they're going to listen to those people? I don't think so. Hello. He's keeping an eye on me. I've seen that, but really don't care. See, that's one of the things. China is one of the safest places in the world. We have no mass shootings. You know how many mass shootings they've had in China? None. You know how many they've had in the United States? I don't know. It's more than I want to think about. It's things like that China looks at when they go into these conferences, and when the United States starts to lecture them or try to lecture them on how to do things, they look at how the United States has been doing it, how the United States has failed at so many different things, how the United States is sort of on a downward spiral and becoming more poor every day, every week, every month type thing. And China is getting richer and richer. The people are better educated, the healthcare is getting better, infrastructure is getting better, transportation is getting better. They're making inroads around the world in finance and partnerships. Did you know that 80 countries around the world agree with China's dealing with the Uyghur people in Xinjiang province? So what do you think would happen if a Chinese person was walking around a city, a complex like this, in a big city of 7.5 million people, speaking in Chinese in a place that really nobody really knows me in this area of town? Well, some people do. And how safe that person would be. You see, me walking around here doing what I'm doing right now, I'm basically the safest person here. Why? Because they treat foreigners with respect in China. The same can't be said about places around the world: Canada, the United States, Great Britain, Australia. You know, it's one of those things that the Chinese people they're just nicer. They're just nicer people. They have more morality than most other countries, or if not all other countries around the world. And that's why I can walk through a place like this with a camera in my face, doing whatever I want to do as far as talking and stuff, with not a worry in the world. So as China builds partnerships around the world with their Belt and Road Initiative, as China's infrastructure grows and the Chinese people get richer, as things are, well, safer, I'd say, I don't think it can get any safer in China. But as people get more educated, get better health care, you know, as the country gets richer and gets just better and better each year, you see other countries around the world, the ones that are trying to dictate how a government should operate, are getting worse. And the Chinese government sees that, the Chinese people see that. I'm sure that the Vietnamese and the Malaysian and the Indonesian, the Russian, you know, probably even the European Union is starting to understand that. And as more countries understand that, places like the United States that used to have the respect of the world has less and less respect. They're not being taken as seriously. You used to have bullies in there that would bully. Now you've got people that want to be bullies, but they don't have the balls to be bullies. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I think the United States has basically lost that position in the world now. And who's going to pick it up? Well, China's going to pick a lot of it up. I don't think that they're going to be a military power like other people think they are. I don't think they're going to have 800 plus bases around the world and try to throw their might in different directions. I think China's going to stay with soft power, you know, economic power rather than military power, and making beneficial for other countries to be their friends. Are they going to stop educating the Uyghurs in Xinjiang province? Absolutely not. Are they going to... oh, here's another one. When the security law came in Hong Kong, The Americans were up in arms. You're stealing the democracy away from the Hong Kong people. You can't do this, you can't do that. And what did they basically do? They made things like sedition illegal in Hong Kong. Riots. You can't burn people. You can't, you know what I mean? Making it safer for the Hong Kong people. But I'm going to be talking about the sedition thing right now. They made sedition illegal in Hong Kong. Okay? And now after the Capitol riots in the United States, Capitol building riots in the United States, what are they charging these people with? Sedition. So you're back to that double standard again. We can do it, but you can't do it. You know what I mean? So the Chinese are basically doing the same thing as what the Americans are doing. Only the Chinese are doing it better because they don't have the riots. They don't have the mass shootings. They don't have, they're standing on a better moral high ground than the United States. Their moral compass is better. They're making life better for their people instead of worse for their people. They're not starting wars. They're not in police states. The police here don't carry guns. Why not? Because it's safe here. Why do the police carry guns in the United States? Because if they didn't, somebody would kill them. You know what I mean? So when you get into something like that, when you get into a country like that and you understand that it can't be like that here in China, then you understand why the Chinese people and why the Chinese government and their officials look at the United States when they try to tell them what to do and say, no, we're not going to do that. And the reason why we're not going to do it is because of this, 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 and this. Take care of your own backyard before you come and try to tell us what to do in our backyard, and maybe we'll get along better. Anyway, that's my opinion on this puppy, and I'm 102% that I'm right on this. So if you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. And yes, Gweilo is going to get into some more political stuff because it's one of those things that has to be said, and there's not a lot of people out there saying it on platforms like YouTube. And because I do this as a hobby, if they deplatform me, I can go to my Chinese social media accounts. If they demonetize me, it really doesn't make any difference to me. You know, all of these things. So there's a lot of people out there that run their YouTube channels and they make money off of it and they survive off their YouTube channels. I'm not one of those guys. So they really can't take anything away from me. So I can basically tell everybody what I think and how it is actually here in mainland China. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye now.